to another edition of Target Score Winnipeg. I'm Joey Slattery, and we have a guest host today, Chris Wiggins from Target Score Vancouver, joining us. Chris, thanks for joining. Glad to have you along because now you're one podcast short of doing the full run. You just got to get you on Target Score Brampton.
I haven't been on Target Score Brampton by myself. We've done a crossover episode, so I don't know if that still counts.
Yeah, but, okay, we'll give it a technicality.
Where's your guy Taylor? Is he?
So Taylor's not here today. He fell ill, lost his voice. So he's like can't even power through it in this medium. That's not great. So Tay, hope you're doing well, buddy. We'll have you back next week. And
everybody's to be on Canada Day, eh?
Of course. I didn't even put that together. Happy Canada Day, everyone. I know you're going to get this day after Canada Day, but we're recording on Canada Day. Be sure to follow us on social media at Target Score Pod, on YouTube at Target Score Podcasts. And make sure that you're liking, subscribing, sharing. All of it helps. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, give us a little support with a thumbs up and make sure that you're subscribed that you don't miss an episode. And, of course, this is available wherever you get your podcasts, whether that be Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We are everywhere. And, of course, we have our shows in Vancouver that Chris Wiggins hosts with Andrew Savory and our Target Score Brampton team of Matt Bonomi and Dee Bolsera. I actually guest hosted with Dee Bolsera this week because Matt Bonomi's off gallivanting along the west coast of Canada and the USA, going to all these soccer games and so on and so forth. But I'm told he'll be back next week. But we'll wait and see.
I saw he's in Vancouver, and the guy doesn't even send me a message. Like I had to be like, "Hey, you're out here. Like, thanks for letting me know."
Yeah, let's start that piece. Yeah, here you guys have the crossover. Maybe you just were too hard on him in the crossover episode, and he's still a little hurt about it. And
they were hard on me. They were hard on me.
We got to be harder on Bonomi. This is a thing that we've talked about. Dee takes so much flack in the broadcast in Brampton.
Yeah.
Between the great Joe Razzo and Matt Bonomi, and I think Bonomi's got to be brought down a peg. So we're going to work on that throughout the rest of the season. But catch them out there on Target Score Brampton. Subscribe. The playlists are there, all in the same YouTube page, easy to get to. The Winnipeg Sea Bears, bit of a weird stretch. They were on a roll, 4-game win streak. Then they go into Vancouver after beating them by 33 points, and they fall on the road. And this has been, a bit of a trend with the Sea Bears. They haven't lost at home, and all of their losses have come on the road. This is one that I wouldn't say it was concerning, but it was one of the few games that wasn't decided by a single possession. It was 94-88 was the final score in that one. They did bounce back against Saskatoon in Winnipeg. It was kind of expected, a bit of a wild game. Defense, if you're a fan of it, do not watch that game because there wasn't much of it. But we'll start with the Vancouver game, Chris. And I know you weren't able to be there as you're normally the sideline reporter, but you had some BC Lions duty.
Yes.
And we do have some CFL flavor in our Target Score podcast network between you and Taylor Allen covering the Blue Bombers for the Winnipeg Free Press. But, it was a bit of a weird one because you had two guys making their debut. I think that was a benefit to Vancouver, A, because they're great basketball players, but B, a lot to plan for Winnipeg, right? You were kind of getting the same Winnipeg team that you played the week prior. So, they totally took advantage of that. Winnipeg had a really slow start. Didn't really seem to have their mojo in that game. They kind of got it a little bit late. But I know talking with the players and the coaches, that was the big thing, was just not being prepared off the tip. But Vancouver, there was a vengeance on the mind of the Bandits, I think. And, from what I was told, I wasn't able to be there in person. But, the players said that Trey Scott called it a playoff atmosphere and a wake-up call. He called it a wake-up call to lose that game.
Yeah, I mean, LEC is always a tough place to win. I believe it was Filipino Heritage Night, so it's one of the bigger nights of the summer. So that place was jam-packed, which also adds to the difficulty of playing in that arena. The Bandits had Tevin Brown make his debut, and he showed up like 21 points, I think it was. He was he dropped four 3-pointers. Couple of rebounds, and so he had his hands kind of all over the ball, all over the game. Jarkel Joyner has quickly become Vancouver's go-to guy.
Big time.
Who needs Jalen House anymore, right? Jalen has moved on, and Jarkel Joyner has been the guy to step up. So again, as you mentioned, I was on covering the BC Lions in Kelowna. They were touchdown Kelowna a couple of games because FIFA World Cup is in BC Place. So admittedly, I didn't see a ton of the game. However, I did hear that it was quite the opposite kind of a game from what we saw a few weeks ago in Winnipeg. Like, I can't believe it was a 33-point win for Winnipeg, and then Vancouver comes back and they beat them by 10, almost 10.
Well, that's what that was what I said in our crossover episode, right? I thought Winnipeg was going to win. I mean, I think most people would have thought that just based on the game before and the 33-point dominance. But I had a feeling it was going to be, I think I said 12. I got a little scared. I was going to say it's going to be under 10. And then I got scared and said under 12. Regardless, that's exactly what happened. And I give credit to Vancouver. I mean, they just lost first place, and Winnipeg had their first test with their target on the back, right? Like, aside from being in first place because they were the only team to play and win the first game of the season, this is the first time that they had earned their way to the top, and they had battled back. I mean, they were a lot of back and forth, like win a game, lose a game, win a game, lose a game, and they finally kind of claw their way back. Vancouver slumps a little bit, but yeah, they have five road losses, and 6 of the games that they played at home are all
5
wins.
road losses, wow.
All on the road. 5 losses total, and they're all on the road. So, that's a tough one. So they do have 2 road wins, but their road record is just clearly not where it needs to be. Sorry, they're 3-5 on the road this year, 6-0 at home. So that's clearly an area where they have to get better. We have Trey McGowens. I talked to Trey McGowens earlier before Chris and I started recording, and that was one of the things that you'll hear him talk about is just, one of the main things that they have to really focus on is, they come ready to play in Winnipeg, but for whatever reason, when they're on the road, and this isn't isolated with this version of the Sea Bears. This has been, I remember, I want to say it was year 2, they won all of their home games but one, and I think they lost all of their road games but one, right? Like, and I know, like, you haven't had the opportunity to come see a game in Winnipeg, but Winnipeg is, it's easy to get up for. That's what made the Vancouver game really funny to me, was you don't see a lot of teams come into Winnipeg and lay an egg. Like, even the bad teams will come in, like, it's that NBA feel. You're playing in the big arena. You've got fans that are engaged, that are, talking smack on the sidelines, and players love to give it to the fans. Like, that's probably my favorite part.
Especially that game.
Well, especially the Vancouver game. That one got out of hand. But on a general day, it's usually just friendly banter, and the players will give it back to them, and I know that's what players love. But it's just there's something about the road with Winnipeg over its history. It's just not easy. And, there's really no excuse. I understand that it's a better atmosphere, like, or not better, an easier atmosphere to get up for, and kind of brings that energy up. But, every other team has to go on the road. There are teams that have a lot of success on the road. I look at Vancouver, like, who has a worse travel schedule than the Vancouver Bandits, right? And it's never really been an excuse. So, like, you can't really excuse the time zone change or, the plane rides. Everybody's going through it.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that you can't really argue with is just like geography. Like, we're the farthest by default, right? Like, that's just kind of where we are. And so, but yeah, I mean, Kyle Julius has been very candid about some of the scheduling, just the way the schedule's worked out and how many back-to-back road games they've had. But yeah, I mean, it's never an excuse. You have to show up and you have to play. And I never, to your point, I've never understood teams that have shown up in Winnipeg and not had their best stuff, because, like, how do you not walk out on Canada Life Center floor, look around, it's the best venue in the CEBL, in terms of NBA feel. Right.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, I don't think I'm coming out of a bias, but
no.
I spent a lot of time there, but it is the mecca of the CEBL. Like, it's just, there's it's like, to borrow like a church term, it's the cathedral among the churches. Like, they're all really nice and they all have their own thing, but it's just, this is so much bigger than everything else that the CEBL has to offer at this point.
Yeah, agreed. And I mean, you guys showcased it, last summer with Championship Weekend, and so that's no longer. But yeah, I mean, just a great venue, and I would imagine, again, a tough place to play, but most guys get excited to play in venues like that, and so yeah, that Vancouver game in Winnipeg a few weeks ago was a weird one for a number of different reasons, But yeah, I know you do want to get to Teddy Allen.
I was just going to say, can we talk about Teddy Allen?
Yeah, we can talk about Teddy. So 27 against Vancouver. He was -1, which is kind of interesting considering he was Trevin Scott had 28. So,
Dude, yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Okay.
let's get into the Teddy first, because I want to say Trayvon Scott
Trayvon,
is
sorry.
such a pro. I mean, here's a guy with no ego, ultra competitive, um, very articulate. But here's a guy that just a few months ago was starting for the Brooklyn Nets, and I understand, it was like he was only starting because the season was over, but he still got to start in the NBA for 4 games. I don't know how many CEBL guys have gone to the CEB or from the CEBL to the NBA and started, right? And this guy's coming off the bench and he's putting up huge numbers for the Sea Bears, but also just that voice of reason. Like talking to him pregame, or sorry, before the day before the game against Saskatoon, talking about Vancouver, he was adamant that like, no, it's a wake up call, and he said like, we can't expect that we're going to roll over people and that we're just going to win because we showed up. Like we have a good team. We have a very talented roster, but the talent is useless if it's not going to perform. And I'm just so impressed with Trayvon Scott as I hate to say it, a role player. He plays a great role. He's a leader. He can score. He is like dynamite off the bench. And if it weren't for the import rule, he would be playing all the time. But it's just the way the dominoes fall with, what the Sea Bears lineup is, with Jeremiah Tillman Jr., obviously, taking the 5, and, Teddy Allen and Trey McGowens, who's been playing point guard. And even that, Trey McGowens soon. There's another guy who will be coming off the bench. I know people are wondering if he's going to Summer League. I don't think a decision's been made there. But as far as I know, he's not. So you got Xavier Moon coming in as early as Sunday in the next game against Edmonton, which will be wild, and we'll get into that in a second. But, they've got a great roster. But Teddy Allen is now leading the league in scoring. I keep saying it. That is just the best aspect of many great aspects of his game right now. His game has grown significantly. And he's always been good. Like, it's not like this year, and I think that's the part where I have not communicated that well, where he's having a great defensive season, but it's not new. He's been doing this in the CEBL, and he's adapted to the FIBA game like crazy. For people that don't understand, FIBA basketball, which is the governing body of international basketball and the rules that most leagues play by, other than the G League and the NBA, and it's a big adjustment. And Teddy relishes it. He loves the contact. I don't know how he finishes his shots. Like, so going back to the MVP race, right now he's taken over. He had 31 points, a franchise record in the first half for the Sea Bears. Finished with 40, which is funny because then the conversation turns to this where I feel like it's unfair to Teddy. Oh, he only had 10 points in the second half after 31. It's like he had a 40 banger. Like he's fine, right? And the thing is, like, even Trey McGowens, like, he ended up being the player of the game for the Booster Juice player of the game because he's the one that closed out the game in the fourth quarter, right? He had 9 points coming into the fourth, and I can't remember what he finished with, 20 something, maybe 21, 25, whatever it was. But everybody's eating. So with Teddy Allen this year, he's not as ball dominant as he's been in years past with Winnipeg. He's able to play off the ball. He's getting his assists. I mean, he's up there in assists too. He's, he might be averaging I should check. Because he's nearly a double-double every game with rebounds. He's a good rebounder. He gets dirty. He disrupts offenses.
Yeah, eight rebounds a game. 8 rebounds a game, just shy of 4 assists a game. I'm just looking at it right now.
Yeah, so, like, he's doing everything. Now, and this is no disrespect to Miles Powell in the East. He's just drawn so much attention for what he's done and what Scarborough is doing. And that is the main argument for Miles Powell. Leading scorer and the most dominant player on the most dominant team in the league right now, who also just signed David Mwencat. Like, the rich get richer. At this point, it's like Scarborough's title to lose, in my opinion. It is such a strong team. But Miles Powell is MVP caliber. But I want your opinion on this, because this is the luxury of having you as a guest host, because you're outside. I see Teddy Allen a lot, and I admire his game and what he's been able to do, and even just from a character standpoint, just how much he's matured over the last few years. But where do you put Teddy Allen in the MVP race?
I mean, he's number one for me. Like, he really is. And, as pure as a scorer, Miles Powell is, and as dominant as he has been in the Eastern Conference and for Scarborough, my MVP at the moment is Teddy Allen. And not only is he leading the league in points per game, and he's, again, almost averaging a double-double with rebounds, he's grabbing, he's grabbing 6 more rebounds a game than Miles Powell. But what stands out to me, if we're just talking points, when I filter to totals instead of per game, when I filter to totals,
Mm-hmm.
Teddy Allen has put up 404 points, almost 100 more than Miles Powell.
Yeah.
307 is Miles Powell. So, what I kind of like about this Teddy MVP conversation is that for me, it sort of felt like even though I'm in the Western Conference as well and watching the majority of the Western Conference games, he's sort of like quietly become this MVP candidate this year. And like,
fair.
Typically Teddy, and his performances and his, and the way he, plays basketball and scores on the floor, and he's not normally a quiet scorer, right? Like, I mean, in years past, he's been, I don't know. I just find it a little interesting that like all the conversation has been about Miles Powell, from my perspective anyway.
Yeah.
And Teddy's my MVP at the moment. But I mean, yeah, I like, you could argue there are arguments for Miles Powell and there are arguments for Teddy Allen. But what I like about the Teddy Allen conversation, and you and I were talking about this right before we hit record, he's okay with it not going his way. Like if it's Miles Powell, it's Miles Powell, and like, to me, that's a mature Teddy Allen that we haven't seen in the last, handful of years.
Well, let's give a little credit to cousin Taylor, as we call him on this show, Taylor Allen. He was out covering the Sea Bears for the Free Press the day before the game, the day before he got sick conveniently on Canada Day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're talking about you, Taylor Allen. But he asked him, about the MVP, and this isn't the first time he's heard this, right? It keeps coming back, and his answer was just, it's out of my control. That's other people's opinions. I'm just here to play basketball. I want to win basketball games. I want to win a championship. And even the performative part of it, I don't even know if Teddy Allen has a target score winner this year. I don't think he does. But last year, not last year, the year before, and like in the first year, he had a bunch. And, there was the flexing, there was the, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing by any stretch. Like, I actually enjoyed it, and I love when players get into it and, with the fans and give the flex and whatever. But, he doesn't do that this year. Like, he had 31 points. I'm losing my mind on the broadcast last night when he hit that 31 points with like 4 seconds left in the second quarter. I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, how is he doing this? And then I'm looking at him, like trying to gauge his reaction in the moment. It's just straight face. Then he goes into the halftime interview with Emily Potter, our sideline reporter and member of our national team, the senior women's national team. And she's asking him like, hey, what's working? He's like, and he immediately goes to like the negatives that they have to fix. He's like, like I could be playing better defensively. I could be doing this. We could be doing that. And it's just like, he's never satisfied, with like whatever's happening. He's like, there's other ways where I can improve the game for myself and for my team.
Do you feel like that would have come out of Teddy Allen's mouth a few years ago?
I think it would have, but not as much. Like, it's just, I think like it's not even from like a attitude perspective. It hits me as how he's reading the game. And I think that's like the progression in Teddy Allen, like the basketball IQ side of things. Like, I think before it was very Teddy centric. What am I doing? How is it helping the team? But now he's seeing it from a whole different perspective, right? Like, and the one thing that the Sea Bears have been very adamant about is not wasting possessions, right? Particularly on offense, but even at both ends of the floor, like, knowing where your defense is at and how you're anchoring, when you're switching, who are we staying on? Who are our locks? And that's simply because they've lost all of their games by very narrow margins. They've not been blown out of the water yet, right? And so you go back and you understand how valuable these possessions are. So I think he's coming from that end of things. I would almost like to see him be a little easier on himself, right? Like, you just scored 31 points in the second half. Like, yeah, it's good. We have some things to fix, but like, it's just
give yourself some credit. Yeah,
he's all business. And the MVP, he's not talking about it. He doesn't care about it. He has one, right? He's already been an MVP. I don't think,
right.
And people keep asking about the Xavier Moon thing. He seems genuinely excited. They appear to have like both of them have talked about it. Like they've struck a relationship. They're practicing together. They're excited to play with each other. Xavier Moon only talks about how he's going to like help Teddy Allen get even better, and make his life easier. Like that's what he's looking forward to. He's almost buying into this. Like it's not anybody's team. And I think it might have been with you having this conversation. It's not Teddy's team. It's not like, and Xavier's playing that too, almost like it is Teddy's team. Like I'm coming in here. Yeah. I know there's a lot of hype around me, but like, I'm going to hit my shots. I'm going to get my shots, but I'm going to make sure everybody else gets their shots. I draw a lot of attention, and that's proof is in the pudding there. That's through CEBL, G League, overseas.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I probably should know this. There's got to be a minimum games played for,
5
to be in the five.
Okay. So that's why the Mitch Creek thing becomes interesting. Yeah. Not to dip into the Vancouver thing, but
I was just going that way with Xavier Moon. Like, I just don't think I think it's too late for him to make any, like, even if he just goes, on a ridiculous tear, I think it's too late for him to be considered an MVP. But, again, that's why I said, correct me if I'm wrong. But if I'm just before we move on, like, I know you mentioned, you're not sure if Teddy Allen has any target score winners. He has 0. Yeah, Miles Powell has 6. So that's contributing to this, like, magnifying glass on Miles Powell. Like, we're seeing all these, clips of him and S dancing, or, and him.
And D had a good dance with him the other day.
D had a good dance with him too. Yeah. D had a good dance. I'm a little jealous at when I'm watching some of these post-game interviews. Like, it looks like these guys are having a blast. The other thing too, I just want to point out as well, when you click totals, for steals. It was steals. I know, because I know you've said Teddy has been better on both sides of the ball this season. Steals aren't even close. Like, Miles Powell is 12, Teddy is 35.
Yeah, and I think he's leading in that too, at least on a per game basis. He was for a while, if he's not anymore.
Like, if we're talking strictly statistics, strictly numbers, it's Teddy Allen, and there's just no question about it.
Here's where I'll give Powell the edge that he has is not only does he have the target score winners, but I can't remember the exact number, but there were numerous games in that early stretch where they were like whatever or no, that they were behind in target score time.
Interesting.
Right? So that's where his importance comes through, and it cannot be understated that he is the most dominant player that drives one of the most dominant offenses on the most dominant team. Like, I'm not saying that the argument is totally in Teddy's. I wouldn't know where I'd vote today. I'm leaning Teddy Allen, but I can't discount what Miles Powell is doing in Scarborough. And I think it sucks that Scarborough is not coming to Winnipeg this season, unless it's playoffs, and that would be, popcorn for sure. But that's looking way too far ahead. And it's such a hypothetical that it's hard to get into, but
you never know. I mean, you never know with the new format, right? Like, if Winnipeg makes the finals, and they do a home and home best of 5.
Yeah. Best of 3.
Best of 3. So like that could be the time Scarborough comes to Winnipeg. But I mean, I don't know, if I'm voting right now, I'm voting Teddy Allen. And again, like, to your point, I'm not knocking anything Miles Powell has done, but statistically
there can only be one, right? Like, last year Mitch Creek won, and there was a whole camp that thought Shawnee should have won, right? And then it was the same story. Mitch Creek was the most dominant player. He had, he hit all the stats. Right, he had both ends of the floor, and also he was on the most dominant team in the regular season. And that's what we have to remember too. Like, it's regular season based, right? Like, it's in terms of the awards and the statistics, because they're playoff awards for the other stuff. But Sean East just was a great player that willed his way or his team into the playoffs, and they nearly beat Calgary. Like it could have been a totally different scenario in last year's playoffs. So that's what makes these conversations interesting. But no, Teddy Allen on a tear right now. He's playing really well. Now we have, before we get to the interview, have to talk Xavier Moon, man. I know people have been asking. I've done the digging that I can. So and what he's told us is, Sunday is the trigger date for his FIBA clearance. Talking to some people that are that have dealt with FIBA before, and former players and such. My understanding is it's the other team, so Russia has to sign off on the clearance. So a player can't join another FIBA team until it's cleared by the team that he plays for currently. And I believe it's a contractual thing, that it's not like the CEBL, where it's just like year to year. There was an option on the second year. So that's where this frustration comes in, because the Sea Bears want him to play, but they have zero control. And I know head coach Mike Rainbow is, doesn't want to hear it anymore. We don't want to ask it anymore. So we're looking forward to that. So I'm not saying that he's in the lineup Sunday. It will be a game time decision. I'm sure it's not just as easy as in you go. But if he does, in Edmonton,
I was just gonna say, isn't it Edmonton? Like, how fantastic is that?
Well, even so, let's just say it doesn't work out. It sounds like if it's not Sunday, it will be the next game. As far as that's the indication Xavier Moon is giving us, right? So this is not just me speculating. This is what what we're hearing from him and his excitement. But if if he does, great. You're playing against Edmonton. It'd be fun to do it at home too. So regardless, he's going to be playing against his old team after Jordan Baker made his comments about the grass not always being greener on the other side. As of right now, it is like based on records, but Edmonton's rolling right now. We'll get into that in a second. But can you imagine? I would imagine that's going to be the highest streamed game of the year if Xavier Moon makes his comeback after 5 years against the team that he had all the success with as the first ever face of the league. And I mean, it's just
MVP
it's so
trophy's
poetic.
named after him. Like it's and so sorry. And again, correct me if I'm wrong. Like he's been in Winnipeg practicing, being around.
Oh yeah,
right?
he's
like
full
this guy's
participant. Like he looks great in practice. I'll tell you that too.
Like, and he's probably itching to like this guy's probably just like itching to get out there. It's like
he's not shy about it. Like
well,
he's said as much.
He's gonna be like that guy's gonna be shot out of a fucking cannon. Like
100%.
He really he's just it's like winding up one of those like Beyblades for 3 weeks and just letting it rip. And this guy's gonna be shot out of a cannon. And the competitor that Xavier Moon is, like you make him wait 3, 4, 5 games in Winnipeg and sitting on the bench and just like watching, like tough loss, big win, whatever the case may be. That guy wants to get out there and play. And he's like that. Like, I cannot imagine him not, again, like going off his first game.
Well, I'll say this, like I've been watching him in practice, like full participant. Pushing guys, and everybody said since he's got here, like how practice is all, and they weren't complaining about that in the pros like beforehand. Like they were already good practices, but it's even been brought up a level, right? Like Xavier is pushing them, and even defensively, like when he's playing like the not practice roster positions, but essentially that, like he's mimicking the other defenses, like he's pushing guys. He's also the last guy out of the gym every time. Like
doesn't shock me. Doesn't shock me.
Putting shots up all the time. He's working with Ramogi Nagudi, who is the Bison's development player who was signed on this season. And he's working with U Sports guys, like trying to get them shots up, showing them what his work ethic is like. Like he just seems like a natural leader. And he does know what Jordan Baker said, and he's ready to show him. This isn't about the grass being greener. Like you want to make this
board material right here.
Totally.
Right
and he's embracing it. It's almost like you want to make this personal. Yeah. All right, let's do it. Like I'm down, whatever he needs to use for motivation. I don't think he needs much, but And apologies to all the children listening out there for the language that Chris Wiggins is bestowing on the pristine target score Winnipeg program. This isn't target score Vancouver. You can't just be all willy-nilly here, Wiggins.
I don't know if I've ever, I don't know if I've, that might be my first target score F-bomb.
Maybe your first F-bomb ever. It's a podcast. That's why don't drop left and right, but
it's a podcast, right?
So I laughed. I'm like, oh man, he's fired up.
Wow, I'm excited to see Xavier Moon, man. Like
totally, dude.
Exactly.
If anything warrants an F-bomb, that's the one.
It's Xavier Moon. Yeah. And I'm not saying that Winnipeg needs help, but it's exactly what they need at this point in the season. Like Scarborough keeps loading up, like I'm pretty sure Zach Copeland is waiting in the wing for Vancouver. Like that's a big name, right? So
that's going to be huge.
Right? So Winnipeg could use it. And I'm not saying they need it. I'm not saying that geez, like let's scrape the bottom of the barrel here. It's but it's only going to help Winnipeg, and why not? Like somebody's got to keep up with Scarborough.
Well, the other thing is this is the most interesting time of the year, and which makes it even like crazier this year is that it's later in the year than it has been in years past. Right? There's always disruptions in the CEBL.
Yeah.
This year it's guys arriving late because of the earlier start. So hopefully we have the teams that we want to see, that the best players are competing in the playoffs and in the finals when it matters. But NBA Summer League is coming a lot earlier too, or a lot later rather. So talking on Target Score Brampton, D was talking about all the guys that are going to be gone for a few weeks, and some teams have like pre-Summer League games. I can't remember who it was, maybe it was Cam Tyson, but one of them are going with the Warriors, and there's a California league, so they have to leave even earlier because they have two teams playing there, and I guess they combine the two teams to send their summer league team, right? So like there are teams like a Brampton might end up being fighting for their playoff lives. Like they're having this slump at the worst possible time.
Wouldn't that be crazy after the start they had?
It'd be nuts. I thought they were the team to beat in the East, like for a long time.
So did I. And I don't know. Like I don't know if some of the Scarborough guys are going to go. Like
that's what I'm curious about.
I have a feeling like some of them are just gonna be like, I almost dropped an F-bomb again. Bleep it, right? Like, I'm not going, right? And like the other thing too is like, and even if they do go, even if there's a handful of guys in Scarborough that do go, like, don't you think Ovio Nico or whoever's running that Drake is going to bring in some other big name? Like their budgets are unlimited.
Well, and the connections, and the thing is like, this is what I keep saying, right? Because immediately the psyche goes to pessimism. Like, oh, we're losing guys. But we saw in Winnipeg last year was a massive boost at Summer League. That's why Trey Scott is here. Right. Trey Scott came to Winnipeg to fill in a spot because guys were like Jalen Williams and Terry Roberts were going out to Summer League. So him and Will Richardson came in, and then suddenly Mike Taylor had this impossible situation where he had to pick 5 of 6 incredible imports of who he was going to play in playoffs. So it's like, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but that's like, this is the wild time of the year. The playoff race is heating up. Rosters are fluid, and there might be some players we don't even know yet that would be in MVP conversations had they played beforehand. But you might see teams that are on the cusp, like, the Edmontons of the world or whoever, they might pick up a player or two where it's like, wow, now we're going on a 4-game win streak, 5-game win streak, and now it reshapes the entire conference. So yeah, like to your point, for Winnipeg right now, as far as we know, like I don't know of anybody that's like locked in going to Summer League.
Me either in Vancouver, for what it's worth.
So if those guys are sticking here, like that's huge, because the other teams, like I know Saskatoon will have a few going. I imagine there's guys in Calgary. Like any American player, American import is likely entertaining the idea to go to Summer League, right? It's your step to the G League contract to potential 10-day in the NBA. So it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, this Edmonton series coming up is going to be huge. And Wade, Edmonton won 2 straight games. Like they scored 220 points in 2 games over Saskatoon, and they only averaged like 90, right? So that is in part to Saskatoon's horrendous defense. They're letting in more than 100 points a game, and they're scoring 96. Like they have the scoring power. But like if I'm Saskatoon and you have a chance to make a roster adjustment, during Summer League, like don't get a big flashy scoring name, man. I want a dude that's going to protect the rim. I'm looking for a big and a guard that can disrupt with a big behind him that gives him the confidence to make those plays aggressively, because defensively that team's a mess.
Yeah. I can't believe we're 10 games out. Like I can't believe we're like, I know it's great. Like all of a sudden it's Canada Day and, we're 10 games out of a 24-game schedule. Like, it's just like, it always happens. Every summer I say this, it always happens. But here we are saying it again. And like we're starting, like we've come over that. Now we're on that slight downhill to the, to the race to the playoffs. It's wild.
Well, it's like Dave Crook said on the broadcast last night. Now we have the playoff picture segment, in our broadcast that we weren't talking because it's that time of year. Right. All right, let's go to the interview here with Trey McGowens. I just want to preface this: Trey McGowens, great interview, really cool story, a basketball crazy family, and just a really good dude that's really enjoying his time here in Canada in the CEBL. And we're going to learn a little bit more about him and how he's settled it in Winnipeg and some of the future plans and all of it. So here's our interview with Sea Bears guard Trey McGowens. Trey, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well. Just enjoying the off day, and it's Canada Day, so I'm just looking to rest a little bit today.
Well, I appreciate you coming on today because you're right. It's Canada Day, which means you played yesterday and you had a heck of a game. You're here early this morning joining us, so I appreciate that. But maybe to ask you about yesterday's performance, it was a bit of a track meet between you guys in Saskatoon, but you really came alive in the fourth quarter, had some highlight reel plays, and really put the team on your shoulders at the end. How did it feel to get that performance out, especially in the fourth quarter, and to take that win where defense was hard to come by?
Yeah, it was really good to get the get the win. I mean, we had some times in the game that we know we could have been better and wish we could have been better. But I mean, we kept playing. We have a lot of talent on this team. So just I feel like we kind of relied on each other early and played together, and I think it really helped us.
How's the team kind of come together this year? It's a bit of a weird situation for Winnipeg because it's a new head coach, even though he's familiar to the city and he was an assistant last year. You have some people returning
Right.
that were gone for a while and now they're back, and like Simon Hildebrandt and Teddy Allen. What's it been like bringing this team together? Because I mean, you still don't have Xavier Moon, but especially lately, things have really been rolling.
hmm It's been really fun bringing this team together. It feels like every 2 weeks we kind of bring in someone new. But I mean, the practices that Coach Rambo and the rest of the staff puts together is really good. Trying to get us acclimated and used to playing with each other. So we really just bump a lot. And just with Moon being back, it just raises the intensity of practice. So I feel like since Moon has been here with us, the practices have really gone up, and we've just been trying to focus on stacking days.
What does he bring, like, in terms of just the experience? I mean, here's
Mhm.
a guy who pretty much set the record books for the CEBL, and 3 MVPs. The trophy has an X in his honor, and now he's back. But what does he bring as a guy who's been around overseas, been in the NBA, and he's back here in Canada playing with you guys? Like, how does that help some of the younger guys that are still making their way?
Um, it just helps us because I mean he's played at the highest levels in basketball. He played in the NBA. He's playing in the VTB league in Russia, where a lot of overseas people wish they could get to. I mean he's won 2 chips. The X trophy is named after him. So I think the young guys are really they're really enjoying learning from him. He really does a really good job of communicating. And
What's been? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
my bad, man. I think he's gonna help us on the road as well. So I'm really excited to get him back.
Well, I'm also curious because it's been a reunion for you and Teddy Allen of sorts. You guys played 1 year together in college, I believe, in Nebraska, right?
Yes, Nebraska. Yep.
So, what was the experience like playing with him there, and what's it like, getting to share the court with him again?
hmm I mean, Ted's a competitor. And oftentimes from an outside looking in standpoint, if you don't really know the guy, you'll think he's a bad teammate. But he just wants to win, and he's just super competitive. And if I mean you're not doing what you need to do, he's just gonna let you know about it. And I have I'm lucky enough to have experience playing with him, as well as kind of liking that a little bit. Because I mean everybody needs somebody to just get them going. Because I mean you're not your best every day. So I think Teddy does a good job of when we're struggling, or personally when I'm struggling, just helping me get out of it, or just get me going. Like, come on, come on, come on.
You played in the CEBL before with Edmonton. Coming to Winnipeg, though, what was behind that decision? Did Teddy Allen's involvement play a factor in it, or where did you see the draw to come here?
Um, Ted. It was Ted. It was definitely Ted. Ted, I had talked to Lex a little bit before the season, but I still had my G League season going on. So it was just tough to just go right away into the CBL. But I mean, Ted, I think they had played a couple games. They had started practices up or something, and this was when I was at the house working out or whatever. And I was like, I'm trying to come up there and play with y'all, bro. And then probably 3 weeks, he called me one morning. I had finished working out, and then he was like, "You trying to come for real?" I was like, "Yeah." And then he was on Facetime with me. He took the code. He took the phone because I think I was talking to Lex as well too, and then I think Teddy had called me, and then he was like, "All right." It was just out the blue. He's like, "All right, I'm finna get the phone to coaches." I'm like, "All right." Thanks." So I mean, yeah, I mean, I love Teddy, man. That's my guy. We've been locked for a minute now, probably 7, going on 7 years.
Oh, that's awesome. When you look at that as part of your journey, we'll get deeper into it. But even coming to Canada in the first place, I mean, this is a league that's still relatively young, amongst other international leagues. But like, what's it been like to come and kind of spread your career so close to home in the sense that it's not in the U.S., but you're playing, in an area where you're in the same time zones, friends and family can watch back home. What has this opportunity been for you to play here?
It's been awesome. On top of it just being close, and even though flights can be pretty pricey, it's one of the easier places to get to. Family wise, I have a few family members coming up here in July. And then yeah, it's way better than just being overseas. Like, it makes it to where you want to play because you're like, all right, I'm still close to home. I'm still on the time zone. I feel like that's probably the hardest part about overseas for me, just being on a different time zone from everyone else. And it's one of the, I mean, it's a league where, if you do really well, a lot of those guys end up with two-way contracts or playing on the NBA court, whatever extent that might be, whether E10 or whatever else. So just being able to go up against those guys and being able to compete and push yourself and people go top leagues in Europe as well from this league, so it's just a really good league to put yourself up against other players um, who you might think you're better than. Yeah, so that's probably the thing I enjoy the most.
Is that the ultimate goal, NBA or overseas?
Yes. NBA overseas, definitely
What
looking
would
to make that jump this year.
what would be if you had, like, who did you grow up rooting for in the NBA?
Um, Brian, honestly. Yeah, I didn't really have a team. I just kind of like basketball. I was one of those guys who had like
Yeah,
fat heads in his room. So I've always been like that since I was younger.
that's awesome. I had the posters. I was a little before the fatheads time, but I know what you're talking about. But you look at, like, even basketball. I find that is kind of the neat thing about it. It's one of those sports that you don't need to root for a team to sit down and watch a game. Like the sport itself, like the NBA does a great job at promoting the stars, but I think that's one of the parts, like, even that we're realizing, in Winnipeg, with the team only being 4 years old. Like, at first, that was a struggle in like year 3, because there were a lot of players coming in, and fans were like, well, what about like year 1, trying to figure out how the CEBL works, right? Because
Yeah,
here it's more NFL or NHL and CFL, where you kind of see players come back a little more. But like when Teddy comes back, everybody was really fired up about it, and I think it has to do because those characters, right? You have a chance to express yourself on the floor, and you can. For me, it's the storylines. Like, I can watch the NBA. Like right now, I'm really excited to watch the Minnesota Timberwolves,
mhm.
because I want to see what Ball's like with Ant. Together, that's going to be some entertaining basketball at the
It
very
is. It
least.
is.
But no, I see where you're coming from. I mean, I can see behind me, I'm clearly a Celtics fan,
Yeah,
but
Celtics. I saw it.
I could tune into any game. But my Celtics, I don't miss many Celtics games. Looking at, when you grew up in South Carolina, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, Pendleton. Am I saying that right?
Pendleton, yes.
Pendleton. What was it like growing up? How did you get involved in the game? Where did you find your love for the game out there?
My dad was a football coach and a basketball coach at Pendleton High School. So just growing up, always being in the gym or always being like at a practice, whether it's football, basketball. And then my dad coached great group of guys. People I look up to this day and consider big brothers, and I still like talk to on like a daily basis or like a weekly basis. Honestly, just being in the gym early and being around sports, and just my parents just instilling me to do things the right way as well. I remember when we were younger, me and my brother, dad tells a story all the time. But him and his like high school guys, they were like doing shell drill or something, and like they just kept messing it up. And then I want to say I was probably like 7, and my brother was like either 4 or 5. And then he like threw us out there. He was like, "My kids can do better than this," and then like he threw us out there. So we've kind of always been around it, whether it's practice, tournaments, or games. So yeah, it's just been in us since we were young, and then our parents used to do it as well.
How big of an influence was your dad on your career?
Big influence. He was a huge football guy. He really wanted me to play football. So he was hurt whenever I decided to quit football. But he told me whatever I wanted to do. He gave me the leeway to do it. As long as I went to school for free, he wasn't really tripping too much what sport I had decided to play. But just having integrity. Oftentimes I don't show a lot of emotion, but that's kind of because he kind of stayed on me. Just about just being even kill. Never too high, never too low. I saw how hard he worked, so I think that's a trait I got from both of my parents.
If you were to say like one particular trait from each of your parents, what do you think are your strongest parental traits?
My strongest parental traits. Uh, I know how to put a kid to sleep. Parental trait. I'm really good at that. But I mean, I'm doing it from a different aspect because I don't have kids, so I just play with the kids until they get tired and fall asleep. But I say for my mom, I got I think just patience. Just having a house full of kids where we're all like athletes. We're all super competitive. Um, just giving us the grace to kind of like have fun. Um, Even though sometimes it might turn into like a hospital visit or whatever. But just the patience to allow us just to be ourselves. And I think just being able to be rough. I feel like a lot of moms kind of don't allow their kids to be rough, but my mom was one of the type moms that like you're going to play football. You don't have no choice. Like boys play football. That's like one thing. Like she like will
She
always say.
toughened you up.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Um, and then my dad was athlete as well, but I say my dad just resilience. He didn't come from the even though his parents like worked really hard. He didn't come from the best environment. But oftentimes like whenever go back to his hometown or cause like oftentimes I like just being around like the older crew. So like I'm like with people his age and they just always be like, you Bobby son, and then they just talk about um like how proud they are of him to make it out of where he's from. And just me seeing like some of the people he might have went to school with and just seeing the reach he has and how he still gives back. I think that's something um that I'm looking to continue to take from my dad as well, just being able to give back and help.
Do you feel that maybe there's I don't know, maybe a responsibility, I don't know if that's the right word, but knowing where your dad came from and the opportunity put forth for you and your
Mhm.
brother, do you carry that with you? Do you think that has been a motivator that to take it to the next level? I've had this opportunity to be a good athlete, a great athlete, and fuel myself to be the best that I can be.
Mhm. Definitely. I mean, I got the name Trey because I'm named after my granddad and my dad. So it's definitely something that I kind of want to do things the right way because I feel like they set a really good standard um, and did things the right way. And when people look at them, they see honest people who work really hard and won't do anything to like mess anybody over, and they're just always trying to help. So just trying to continue to do that because one thing my dad loves just hearing is like how polite or respectful his kids are. So I feel like that's one thing they've instilled with me since we were younger.
Oh, that's awesome. Going back to, the high school to college jump now, where was the moment for you? Was there a breakout moment in high school that, that allowed, to see, or I wouldn't say allowed, that brought on
Mhm.
scouts or brought on colleges to start talking to you? And what was that recruitment process like?
Um. So yeah. So I probably had every other mid major probably almost every mid major in the country. But I just couldn't get a high major. So going into my senior year, I had transferred. I had pretty good AAU season that year. And then going into my senior year, I decided to go to Hargrave Military Academy, um, where players like Najee Marshall, Montrezl Harrell, like Terry Rozier, and like guys like that had went. But I mean, it's not easy. It's a military school, all boys school. We live in like barracks. Um, but it just instilled that discipline, and it just put me around players like one of the guys actually was Trey King, who played with Edmonton Stingers, who we played against the other day. But it just gave us a chance to just compete and compete and compete. I was one of the younger guys there, me and Trey. We were still high school guys, while some of the other guys were like post grad, so they had graduated high school. So it just gave me a chance to just bump every day because like everyone on the team was trying to get a free ride to school, and I was one of the guys with the free ride to school. But it was nowhere near where I saw myself being or like where I even dreamed of being. And then we ended up playing Oak Hill, with Keldon Johnson, Keontae George. I mean, not Keontae George. Keontae Johnson, David McCormick. I don't know if you're familiar with any of those guys. Will Richardson was on that team as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. No, we knew that because, yeah, Oak Hill's a big program out there.
Yeah. So it was that team. They were really good. They were supposed to be top in the country, but I mean, we were top in the country too. We just didn't have the bigger names. And then we ended up playing them. I want to say I had like 25, and we ended up winning, but we ended up winning by 30. I might have had 30 and we won by 25, but it was one of those. And then I mean, of obviously who we're playing against, it was a lot of high majors there, and once I got my first high major, things just kind of started rolling in. So I say just going to Hargrave and being able to compete with different teams around the country with other top guys. We competed in the Hoop Hall Classic as well. So just being able to be seen, I think that was a big thing for me.
Yeah, the barracks life. I didn't go to military school, but one time we were in high school, our basketball team was in this massive tournament on a military base here in Canada. And we had to stay the weekend in barracks. So like, I remember thinking, I'm like, it's like cool for a weekend, but I don't know if I'd be able to do this full time. So respect to that. But then you went to Pittsburgh first, right? Before the transferring to Nebraska. And I don't know if it still stands, but you did set the record for points, single game points by a rookie with 33. So, you burst onto the scene at Pitt. And then what was the reason behind the transfer? Was it just a matter of a better fit in Nebraska, or was it just wanting to see something new, or was it something deeper?
Yeah, so going into my sophomore year at Pitt, I really wanted to play on the ball more. And then that didn't happen the way I had wanted my sophomore year. So I ended up deciding to transfer to Nebraska. I was expecting to sit though because it was before the waiver rule had went through. So I was gonna sit a year, learn the offense, learn how to run Hoiberg's system at the point guard position. Because that's what I had played like all through my high school. And then I ended up when I had went to Pitt, we had another freshman who played that position as well. So they just ended up moving me to the 2. So whenever I moved to Nebraska, it was kind of the same thing. But I ended up getting my waiver, so it was like I was playing right away. And then we ended up having Delano Banton. He's a Toronto guy. And then he ended up getting drafted to the Raptors. I want to say he finished up with the Clippers or the Celtics this year.
Okay.
So he ended up being a starting point guard with me when me and Ted played. And then the last year I was hoping to get to run the 1 again, and it was kind of a similar situation. So yeah, that was kind of my reason for transferring in college.
So then you move on to the pros. You've played in the G League for a few teams, and you just played overseas for the first time, right? Before coming to Winnipeg?
The year before, last year.
Year before last.
This year I was back in the G. Yes, sir.
So what was that experience like, going from G League to overseas and then coming back? Like, how much does the game change in terms of just, the approach and the style?
I mean, the G League honestly the second best league in the world as far as athleticism, talent, or regards to that. 70% of the NBA is played in the G League, so that should speak for itself. So it was really good, but I think overseas was really good for me because it gave me a chance to be able to run the point guard position again. Something where I feel like my primary position is, and somewhere I enjoy playing the most. So it gave me a chance to get film there. So I really enjoyed it. And overseas, it's like if something happens, then make this read, and it's pretty automatic. So it also gave me a chance to be able to grow with reads and being able to lead a team as well.
Well, and just before we move on, going overseas, being in a situation you're unfamiliar with, different languages, different cultures, even here, in Canada, like we were just talking before we started the interview, like, you're heading out to Gimli to go see a little bit of Manitoba, right? And see the area that you're playing in and the people you're playing in front of. But what's been the most rewarding part of, playing away from home and being in different countries, aside from the basketball?
Um, I say the sacrifice, and just knowing what end goal you have in mind. Yeah. Can you ask that question again? I'm sorry.
Just what do you enjoy most? Like, when you've been able to leave home and, see different cultures, different cities, like what's the most enjoyable part of playing away from home outside of the basketball? Like whether it's getting to know a new city, new language, new food, things like that.
Just the new people you meet. I feel like that's probably my favorite thing. I've met a lot of cool teammates, and I'm cool with all my teammates who I played with, over the years. So, I think just meeting people, from different backgrounds and being able to unite, no matter the language barrier or whatever, all because of game basketball.
And you played it internationally too, right? Like you played for was it the U23 Team USA?
Yes, for the 3-on-3.
Yeah.
Yes. So
What was that
we
experience
played in
like when you get
Poland.
to carry your country with you?
It was dope. I enjoyed it. I was with a great group, and I got to see Poland. Lublin, Poland. So that was pretty nice. Free trip. So, free trips. You always gotta
It's always nice when it's on someone else's dime.
Exactly. I think that's pretty much the best part about basketball. Just living country to country, and being able to save your coin because you ain't got to pay for rent. So at least you can put up whatever rent would be for the month.
I'll end with one more basketball question because you said the ultimate goal is to play in the NBA. What do you think is the most underestimated or undervalued part of your game from an NBA perspective?
My ability to draw two, and make the right play. I think that's my most underrated thing, from an NBA perspective. So, that's something I'm still working on, but I think I do a really good job of being able to get by my defender and draw two.
Fair. I would also say your transition passing.
Yeah.
That's been on display full time, especially when it's with Teddy. We were joking about that on the broadcast last night. It just seems like there's been two particular passes I remember this year where it looks like you're passing it to nobody. Like there's one I remember you got the ball under the hoop at the far end and the ball was coming towards us, the broadcasters, and there was like no one in our vicinity. And then suddenly out of nowhere, Teddy's just flying down the wing. It was like a quarterback hitting a wide receiver. So it all makes sense that you have a football coach as a parent because that one hit me. And then yesterday you caught one from Teddy where I thought Teddy was just throwing it out of bounds in the corner. And then you just popped up out of nowhere and drew an N1. So you guys tend to have chemistry on the long ball, it seems. Is that back from college? Did you develop it then?
Yeah, definitely. Especially with the way we had played in Nebraska, we played like super fast, and just wanting to run and trying to get a good shot early in the clock. In the G League we called it race 18s. So just trying to get a layup or get in a scoring area at a decent time on the clock. We've been playing that way since Nebraska, and in the G League, obviously another hot paced league. So, and then I just know Teddy. He's called Teddy Buckets for a reason. So, if I can just get him a couple of easy buckets, and that's always great for me.
All right, you ready for target time?
I am ready for target time.
All right, let's do this. A reminder to our listeners, target time is the slowest version of rapid fire questioning you will ever experience. I'm solo today, so it'll be a relatively quick one. But we talked about football. This is actually perfect transition on the last question to the first target score question. If your life took a different path and you followed the path that your dad wanted you to go through at first with football, what position would Trey McGowens be playing?
Receiver or safety. I honestly played both, and I was out really nice at it. Going in, so I didn't play my junior year of football because I quit playing after my sophomore year. But Signetti, it wasn't Signetti who came to the school, but JMU came to the school after I didn't play my junior year. It was like when I was going to Hargrave, I had decided I'm going to Hargrave, and then they were like, "If you decide to play football, we have an offer for you." So I always make a joke to where I would have been on that Indiana team.
That's awesome. All right. Okay, you talked about your dad's coaching career, but your mom's a coach too. Did she not play basketball in college?
Yes, she played at Western Carolina. And I'm not sure if she holds any records still, but she held some records, and she's definitely at the top of some records still there. So I mean, people like to say you get the athleticism from your mom. So, hey, very much. I've heard that my mom is more athletic than my dad. So my dad doesn't deny it neither. But my dad was a stud as well.
Okay, so we'll put you all in your primes. I feel like your parents, if they both played, at the collegiate level and coached, they're probably pretty competitive and think they still can play. Mm-hmm. But let's put everybody in their prime to make it fair between your father, your mother, your brother, and yourself. You guys are playing.
I got a little sister too. Who's
and
nice.
And your sister. Sorry,
she's nice. She's nice.
Does she play basketball?
She does. So she's going into her. She's going to her junior year at Furman this year.
Oh, okay. So there's a lot of basketball talent in your family.
It is.
So you guys are playing a continuous 1v1 tournament, all 5 of you. Who's going to win that?
I say Bryce. I like Bryce. I like Bryce in that one. Even though we have our battles, just because it's like way more people involved, I think Bryce will get that, and then it'll be me, little sister.
Who wins between mom and dad?
I'm gonna put dad last because he went to school to play football originally.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put him last.
That's awesome. Oh man, I like that you're a good big brother and that you're giving the spotlight to little bro. I like that. That's the honesty in that answer. If you could play anywhere in the world that you haven't played yet, where would you want to play?
Spain, Greece, Russia. I wouldn't mind Israel neither. The countries that pay the most, to be honest.
Yeah. And I know a lot of players tend to say they want to go to like hot places. Like you're cool playing in anywhere, right? Where there's winter.
Yeah. I mean, I was in Poland and Hungary this past my 2 seasons ago, so it was really cold. I went in Nebraska and Pittsburgh, so I don't really mind the cold, but I would love to prefer warmer weather. But you never know. You never know where you'll end up. So.
Well, it's a good thing you're in Winnipeg in the summer because it's a lot different in the winter.
Yeah, I've heard.
I don't know if players would be as eager. I'm sure they would still come because the atmosphere is great. But I think it'd be a little bit harder of a sell for some of the players to come here in the winter. But I love Winnipeg in the winter, so I'm not pooping on it. It's I love Winnipeg in the winter. It's like a whole different city. What is something fans don't know about Trey McGowens? Like outside of basketball, what does Trey McGowens like to get up to?
I like hikes. I like nice scenery. And I mean, something people might not know. I read a little bit.
Okay, what do you read?
I like historical fiction books a lot. I got one the other day. What's it called? The World So Wide. I got it from the bookstore at the Forks. I think it's the book for like the next month or 2. I think they have a book club over there.
Yeah, McNally Robinson. Do you know that they have this is a fun fact for you. So they have a bigger store in Winnipeg that's not too far from the Forks, and I think it's the largest independent bookstore in North America.
Oh, I'm gonna check that out then.
It's really cool. They got a nice little restaurant in there too. So that's my recommendation to you. They got a restaurant called Prairie Inc. Okay. Great food, great breakfast, great lunch, you name it. Everything's great. And they have a massive bookstore it's really cool because it's not like a Chapters or an Indigo or like any of those big chains. So if you're a reader, go to their other location, and it's really cool. And they've got I'm not as big a reader. I try to read like a book a month, and some months I'm good. Months like basketball season, I'm not as good, but they've got like so many seminars and stuff too for like breaking down books and different theories and stuff like that. It's a cool little vibe that they've got going on. So I highly recommend that. Who do you trust most on the current Winnipeg Sea Bears to cook a meal that is going to be healthy and delicious and can serve the whole team in a pinch?
Tilt and Nate. Me and Tilt are kind of like we cook for each other. We like rotate.
Okay.
Like, we're neighbors. So like whether it's breakfast or whatever, usually like we'll just knock on each other's doors. Like I got you want a plate, and then yeah, that's how it started. I think he fixed me a plate or something, and then I started fixing the plate. But I saw Nate. I walked into his room one time, and then he was cutting up salmon. He was doing a thing. So I say Tilder Nate.
Okay, so since you have more experience consuming Jeremiah's food, what's his signature dish?
I don't think it's a signature dish. I feel like I have more of a signature dish just because
That was my next question. What's yours?
I only know how to really cook like 1 or 2 meals, and then so I spam them. But yesterday or the day before the game, Tilt had fixed cheeseburgers, so those were really good.
Oh, like he made them himself, like the beef or whatever. Like he made the patties.
Yeah, he made the patties. So I mean, it was good. It was really good actually. I didn't have to go out and buy food, so it was good.
What's your go-to pregame meal?
Usually I go lasagna like early before the game. Like when I'm walking to the game, usually I stop and grab lasagna from Boston. And then earlier before the game, if I have like food from the day before after shoot around, I'll eat that. But if not, then I'll just put some Eggos in the egg oven and then fix some bacon and some eggs. So nothing too crazy.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
That's all you need, honestly.
Well, that concludes Target Time. Well, Trey, we've learned that you're a reader, you're a partial chef, and you're from a very athletic family, and you're a great basketball player, and we're glad that you're here in Winnipeg. Hope you're enjoying it here, and I know it's midway through the season, so I'll end on this note, just as now that you're past the halfway point of the season, what needs to be done from this team? What's the kind of the missing piece for you guys you have to figure out in the second half of the season if you're going to secure that championship?
Just getting some wins on the road. Just trying to finish 500 on the road. Because I mean we're kind of behind, so just trying to catch up, and I feel like that'll be really good for us going into playoff time. Hopefully we won't be on the road too late if we handle business the way we think we should.
Well, it starts in Edmonton. Got a home and home with the Stingers. Looking forward to that, and so good luck out in Edmonton, and we'll see you when you get back on the 9th.
Appreciate you.
Great conversation with Trey McGowens. I hope you enjoyed it. Just a great dude, and I think he's one of the guys that kind of illustrates what the culture of this team has been with Winnipeg. I have to say, from a media standpoint, they look like they're having a lot of fun. They're great to deal with, a really good team, and I think Trey McGowens is a big reason for that, and he's been a big addition to this Sea Bears team here. And looking with Xavier Moon coming in for a guy that's it's going to be an elite point guard who can also play the two coming off the bench. And he'll probably still get a few starts here and there, but no, just a great guy, and really rooting for him too, just as an individual beyond the CEBL, a guy that's got NBA aspirations, a brother that plays in the NBA, a family that's been very, very sports first. His mom, as you're in the interview, played college basketball. His dad played college football and was a football and basketball coach, and his sister currently playing in the NCAA. So great interview with Trey McGowens. And hey, next game for the...
I can't wait.
Yeah,
I can't believe that guy's 26.
I know.
Like I wouldn't want to run into him in a back alley on a late at night. That guy is scary.
Like legit, if you did though, he'd be like, "Hey man, you good?"
He's like, "You want a hug?" Yeah.
Like that dude. But I remember when he first came in, like I just assumed like, oh, we're getting like a grizzly vet. Like he just kind of. I didn't even look at the age. I'm looking at the pictures and the highlights, and then you look at the age. I'm like, oh man, like I was in junior high school when that guy was born.
Exactly.
Yeah, and no, but he's mature and wise beyond his years. Just a good character dude. Cool. So really hoping that his NBA dream pans out, because deserving guy. Can't help but root for him. So the Sea Bears play next on July 9th.
Jeez, you guys got a break, eh? Holy.
Well, that's after not having a break for a long time. That was like the biggest complaint from Mike Rainbow, was just here. Rainbow's very much a coach that is like tactical and big on practices. Like he'll tell you, he's like, there's not enough time to practice even when you have 2 weeks. He's like, I need more practices. He loves being in the gym. He's like a true gym rat. So that was hard for him, because they went for I think, what did he say, like they had 1 day off in the first half of the season, like just total day off. And they had a big run without any like legitimate practices. This isn't like unique to Winnipeg, but yeah, he's relishing these little breaks here and there because it was a busy first half of the season.
Aren't you in Edmonton first?
Yeah, sorry, it is. It's July 5th in Edmonton. Yeah. That's Sunday, so just a couple days away. And then it's Thursday, July 9th in Winnipeg. So it's just crazy to me. Like you can't have this foresight. I get it. I think the league was expecting him to be here right off the hop, and they had that, the big national game to kick it all off in Edmonton with Winnipeg there. Yeah. But man, a Sunday game, and it's the best part is you have a national game when Calgary plays Vancouver. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm sitting there thinking like, oh man, like Winnipeg and Edmonton, and Xavier Moon is, potentially making his return. Like, oh,
could have been a good one.
Would have been a good one. But I'm excited for you, man. You've got your first one in Vancouver. The Surge are in town. I know the Surge haven't been very hot this year, but it's going to be fun.
No, it's always fun when Calgary comes to town, regardless of their record. But yeah, I mean, I was licking my chops at the start of the season when I was, offered that game and knew it was going to be Calgary. And before we had tipped off any CEBL games, I was like, man, this is going to be heated. But Calgary's 1-10 or 1-11 or whatever they are now.
1-11, yeah.
Yeah, not funny how it works out that way, but it is what it is. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Pretty
big
lineup
tip too. It's a 12 p.m. Pacific time tip as well. So 12:30. Excuse me.
12:30. So Central time, Central Daylight Time, Winnipeg time. 2:30 start. So they can watch your game. Vancouver hosting Calgary. Nice. At 3:00, another top battle between the two top Eastern teams, Saskatoon, Scarborough in Brampton. Wow. And then at 5:00 Central Time, which would be 3:00 Pacific Time, the Stingers host the Winnipeg Sea Bears. And then the Sea Bears will return home to finish the home and home on the following Thursday when the Stingers are in town. Chris, thank you so much for joining us here today. I know we had the crossover last week, but great to have you as a guest host this week.
Yes, sir.
And hopefully Taylor will be back next week. Thank you all for tuning in. We will be back with a new edition next week, recapping the wildness of what this Sunday game might mean. We'll find out if it's Xavier Moon landing or not. Regardless, it's a big game for both the Sea Bears and the Edmonton Stingers, who have picked up steam at the right time here as we get into the second half of the season. Till then, enjoy your time. We'll talk to you then. And make sure you're liking and subscribing and keep those notifications on.